And hello there, welcome back to another draft video. Here with me, Marshall from Limited Resources. We're doing a little Streets of New Capenna. Took the weekend off. See how things go, though. See if anything's changed. Black Market Tycoon. Yeah, no, thank you. Definitely not going to go into the perhaps worst color pair for a mediocre card. Tainted Indulgence is okay. Raffine's Informant. Well, let's just test the waters and see if this is still correct to do. Pugnacious Pugilist. I actually like that card. Rocco, Skycrier. Strangle. Ooh, but there's a Jewel Thief. I will be taking a Jewel Thief here. Yeah, I just like this better. We could take Skycrier to stay on 2-drop plan and also only in white. But green's the color I want to pair. I'm quite happy to pair anyway with it. And Jewel Thief is fantastic. One of the best performing commons in the whole set. Oh my god, and then we get Darling to the Masses passed to us. Yeah, Murder's fine, but like, we go white card, green card, Darling. Not going to argue with that. Here's a Gathering Throng, which could certainly be part of the equation. There is a Murder here, though Obzon not particularly well set up. Night Clubber as well. So black looks like it's wide open. We just got past a Murder. Now we got past another Murder and a Clubber. But yeah, I still think I'm just going to stay on track here and just take Gathering Throng. I've been pretty impressed by it. It's a solid card, and this is very early. Pack 1, pick 4, which means that we have a legit chance to get more of them at least. Okay, I guess since there's only one choice in my colors right now, yikes, I'll take the Rocks Pummeler. Okay, Botanical Plaza, decent. Still haven't really come around on Warm Welcome, but it's hard to call it like a terrible card. It gives you a body. And it helps you find another one, but I'm not in love with it. Okay, things are getting a little sketchy here. I guess I'm going to take an Obscura Initiate here. But it does start to feel like maybe Brokers is getting cut finally. It would make sense if that finally happened. Okay. Well, I'll take the Brazen Upstart here. This is one of the directions that we can go. Instead of a Obscura Initiate, we get the Brazen Upstart. It's a little better card. And maybe one of these other decent red cards wheels. And that kind of would inform us on, okay, fine. I'll admit I'm not really high on Cabaretti, but you can play it. All right, here's an interesting one. If I do anticipate being Cabaretti, then Racer's Ring is where I want to be. If not, I'll just take Expendable Lackey or even High-Rise Sajak, but I'll take the Ring. I actually think the Ring has the highest upside, strangely. Just because if we do end up in that color, then that's kind of right where we want to be. All right, Antagonize or Big Score? I'll take Big Score. This color trio has all the combat tricks, basically, so it is not difficult to find them if you want them. Graveyard Shift, dang, I actually like that card, too. Okay, what do we got? Fight Rigging. Put a +1/+1 on target creature you control, then if you control a creature power 7 or greater. Yeah, I'm in for that. I haven't played this card yet. I don't even believe I've played against it. But at the beginning of combat means you can just like play a 2-drop, play this as a 3 and on your first main, and then just start snapping off +1/+1 counters. Getting a free card is cool. But it's actually secondary to what this card can do. Alright, what do we got here? Swooping Protector. Spar's Adjudicators, that actually is a pretty big push, and then there's a Strangle. Well, we're still really kind of split down the middle here as far as colors goes, like big score is not something we really need to prioritize. But Brazen Upstart is a little better than Obscura Initiate. The question here is Brazen Upstart plus Strangle better than Obscura Initiate plus Spar's Adjudicators? And then we also have to factor in the Racer's Ring. I think that either of those are also very close. Yeah, I'll go with the Adjudicators. I think it has a higher upside anyway, and this also doesn't completely marry us to it. Like, we can still move around. Okay, I'm not in love with this stuff. I do like Echo Inspector, and I do like Skybridge Towers. I would even play Make Disappear. I'll take Echo Inspector, though. I kind of like the idea of having flyers that I can put counters on from the fight rigging. That appeals. All right, Easy Rafine's Informant here. This is the, when you pick up a fight rigging, you want good 2 drops, plus you just generally want them, so that's kind of a no-brainer. Another Obscura Initiate. You know what? Yeah, I think I will actually take it here. I could take a run out of town. I actually am a little light on interaction right now. Yeah, sure. I'll talk myself into a run out of town. The first one of these has been totally fine. I've even played multiples and been like, sure. Just going to take another Adjudicators here. So this worked out actually pretty well. Even just picking up another one of those makes me happier to be in this color trio. Remember, this is a trio with a higher upside as well, so we kind of get a lot out of it there. All right. Quick look at our curve here. Could we use more 3s? Yeah, we actually have a little room for a 3, even though Social Climber is probably the weakest of the bunch here between these. I could also just take Majestic Metamorphosis, but I'll go with Climber this time. Ooh, Broker's Hideout. In. And then we wield a land or a Civic Gardener. I really do want more 2s, but I'm not going to pass the Botanical Plaza here. All right, so how are we on 2s? We've got 3 of them right now, and really only 2 that we want to play. So that is a focal point for sure in the last pack is getting our curve right. Again, particularly cards that cost 1 or 2 mana just because of fight rigging. When it comes to cards like this, you don't need to build around them. Right, you're just going to have creatures anyway, but there's no harm in maximizing on them because it really is a different game if you play a 2-drop into a fight rigging than it is if you play a fight rigging on a later turn. It is just a different thing. I guess I'll take Patch Up here. Okay, Make Disappear. All right, well, there's Civic Gardener too, though, and I was talking a lot about 2s. Yeah, I'll take it here. I think Civic Gardener is a perfectly playable card, so that'll work just fine. Halo Scarab I have not liked. Jackhammer and Demon Stew kind of going where they're supposed to, and I don't want a Scuttling Butler. All right, let's get something nice here. Unleash the Inferno on... Oof, it would be a double splash. No. Fairy Vandal's quite strong, and also... Oh, but here's Inspiring Overseer. Well... Even though Fairy Vandal would be very good in this deck, I think I am not passing an Inspiring Overseer. This card, it's not that common that something lives up to the hype, and this one has. Oh, man. Another Jund Rare. And a Mangler. I think I'm going to take Celestial Regulator here. I could take Hold for Ransom, and then I'm hoping to wheel the Broker's Hideout. That might be a little greedy, but... Hold for Ransom or Celestial Regulator? Boy, I think I'm going to take the Regulator here. I like the card just in general, but also I really like it with fight rigging. Just anything with flying, anything with lifelink, that really... You basically get... better counters, right? Like, that's a way to look at it. Beatdown deals X damage. That's a pretty good card. There's also a Civic Gardener. I bet you if we get this, or this back, I'd be happy. Or this. Yeah, I'll take the Bouncer Beatdown. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually 5, or maybe call it 5.5 cards that if they came back, I'd be happy. And that was only, the second pick? So we actually have a decent chance to get one of those cards. Okay, this only provides one color, so not great. Ooh, there's another Rafine's Informant. Yes, please. So now we have 3 Rafine's Informant. Man, I'm going to be able to actually dig to the fight rigging, which is kind of sweet. All right, I think I just want a Broker's Hideout over an Echo Inspector. Let's do a quick creature count. 16, so we're looking fine there. Yeah, let's take the Hideout. Now our mana is fixed. We're good there. I guess I'm supposed to take Glittermonger. I guess either of these can help fix mana, so I'll take it. Wow, another Rafine's Informant. There's also a Broker's Hideout, a Venom Connoisseur, and a prize fight here. Yeah, I'm just going to keep it simple, though, and stay with the Informant. That's my favorite of that bunch. All right, well, we got really lucky here. We got another playable 2-drop, so we were able to really round out our 2-drop slot. I can get Attended Socialite out of here, and we've got the double Civic Gardener, quadruple Rafine's Informant, so that's pretty nice. So nothing really for us here. Unfortunately, Gathering Throng looks like it's going to be a whiff for us, even though we did take it early. I just wasn't able to take a second copy in a reasonable spot. All right, Spar's Adjudicators. Sure, I mean, it's 3 of those, but they're only a 5-drop. All right, so the Throng and the Caldea's Strongarm both came back. The other stuff didn't, and these were probably the last 2 on my list, but I guess I'll take the Throng, because that does mean we can play this other one. 2 Throngs is not ideal, but it's still playable. 3 is kind of where you start to get happy. Somebody asked what the upper limit was. I don't know. I guess 6 or 7. I don't know. I mean, if you have 7 of those in your deck, you are like extraordinarily likely to have drawn one by turn 3, and then you basically will never have another turn where you don't get to do something. So there's something powerful about that. Okay, so we need one more card here to make this thing work. How do we get so light on playables? I guess I could just play a Boon of Safety. Card's playable, right? I don't like how evened out the mana got on this. Like, this is pretty bad, but we do have a lot of fixing, so it's probably okay. I could also just play an 18th land since I've got 3 of them coming out and 2 of them being sacked, but I don't really curve that highly. That said, my mana is actually quite good with the triple Spar's Adjudicators as well, so I could probably get rid of something like that. And I think I'd want to go like that. Maybe I'll go like that. All right, let's see how this thing can do. Kind of medium Broker's deck, I guess. See if it still got it. I am excited to try out that enchantment. Oh, and I should remind you, too, these videos are brought to you in part by people over on Patreon. That's the Patreon for the podcast. It's patreon.com/limitedresources. And if you like what I'm doing here, you can check that out. Oh, there's the fight rigging right off the top. Nice. And I got Civic Gardener into it too. But if I... So it's a little bit awkward. So if I go get blue here, then I can't play the Gardener into the rigging, so I can't really do that. But if I play the Plaza and don't draw an untapped land in the next 2 turns, then I can't play the rigging right away. It's probably still worth it. I just really want to play a 2-drop into rigging. I mean, that's kind of my dream here, but I am going to go for it, though. I'm just going to go for the high upside play. If I don't get to play the rigging on this turn, it's not the end of the world. I'm still going to hit a land drop. I can still even fix my mana. I could also just draw Rafine's Informant or something and play that out and hit my lands. Ooh, and I hit the land anyway. Clean living. Okay. It's a little awkward. I'm not going to trade. And I'm also not going to block. It's like getting this Gardener up to a 4/4 just bricks the Jewel Thief. And then I can start, like, casting other stuff. The rest go on the bottom in a random order, right? So these 4 cards are all lands right now. If I end up shuffling, which I will, then that'll bring those out of retirement, as it were, but can't really do much about it. Okay, Oppo's going to attack. I am going to take. Sure. Well, my opponent got very greedy here. And I actually get to punish them for it. So I can respond by killing their 3-powered creature, and now this thing only takes 2. Now it does prevent an attack here, but so what? So yeah, that was one of those times where if you were going to make that play from the opponent's perspective, you probably just needed to main phase it. I can understand the upside, right? Like, for example, if I play a different creature and I want to put another counter on that, they may want to kill that instead. If the counter is going to go here and they're able to kill the Gardener, then they basically get to blank one of my counters plus kill the Gardener. So that's nice for them too. But in this case, it kind of backfired. At any rate, they had Broker's Charm here to take the thing out, so it all worked out in the end for them. Okay, well, I'm going to play Rafine's Informant, and let's see what we get here. We get a land, which I kind of need, but I can play one of these post-combat. Guess I'll just get rid of this. And attack here. And in this case, I guess I can just play the land anyway, so I'll just give this thing Vigilance. I'm sure they'll just take it. And then I can regulate. And I get this thing too, right? If you control a creature, counter on it, choose creature doesn't untap. Very nice. That means that the Rafine's Informant has a shot at getting in there. Because I am going to play Spar's Adjudicators here too. If I draw an untapped land, would I rather play the Pummeler? I think so. It's hard to say without knowing what my opponent's done this turn, but definitely could see that happening. All right. This all works out. So I did not draw the untapped land. Well, I guess I kind of did. Yeah, you know what? This does actually seem like it would be better. I'm just going to attack with everything here. And untap this land so I can just play the Pummeler. They can trade off their 5/3 for my Gardener. I mean, it's my freaking 2-drop. I don't care. And this sets me up for Pummeler this turn. And then I can Spar's Adjudicate any decent blocks that they've got. And get a big slam in with the Pummeler where, maybe they they put a 1/1 in front of it to just take some extra damage, but to knock the shield counter off or whatever. Wow, that's a heck of an attack. Okay, so I could just go Throng. But is it better to Spara's Adjudicator the Metropolis Angel or the Civic Gardener or something like that? If I do the Angel, then I have pretty clean attacks across the board. Maybe these two trade, but that's fine. Yeah, I'll just do that. All right, it looks like my opponent's had enough. As usual, Brokers plays out in a tempo-oriented fashion where you're able to do two things at once, which are really the things that I love the most. It's kind of fun for me to play this type of deck, my favorite type of decks are always tempo decks, where the two things you get to do are you get to put something on the battlefield and also affect theirs. If you followed me for a while, you'll know my favorite Magic card is Mana War, which is kind of the all-timer when it comes to that effect. You're building out your board, and in the meantime, you're setting your opponent back. That's kind of the core of what I love to play in Magic, and this is similar. You know, this strategy has a lot of that vibe going on. All right, let's get some lands going here. Wow. The other Gathering Throng. All right, well, I guess I'll just ditch one of them. I wanted to ditch a spell anyway. I mean, it could have been the Rocks Pummeler instead. But we've got a ton of stuff to do here, so yeah, this is an easy block. This card can get kind of out of hand and pretty annoying pretty quickly, so getting a nice little block on it is good. All right, there's our Broker's Hideout. Let's see what we hit here. I think I'm just going to get rid of the other Throng, actually. And this can get me some green mana. And then it's your turn. Okay, so at the 4-mana spot, I could play Darling to the Masses. And I think that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to offer the trade first, just because I'd like to have as few creatures on the other side as possible after I get the Darling down. Let's see if this resolves. They haven't done anything with their mana just yet. Okay, it's just for Adjudicators, but is it also Counterspell? No, it's a little chat. All right, I knew something was up, but it looks like it was a good case scenario for us there. The bad thing is that our opponent did use up all their mana, and now they can play Spara's Adjudicators. So that's a little bit annoying, but beyond that, this worked out okay. Ooh, Fight Rigging, huh? Yeah, you know what? I am going to get that thing down right now. I'm doing it. All right, Informant, Overseer. It's always just going to be Overseer here. So now I have a blocker for this, and I can attack into it and start spitting out 1/1s or 2/1s. So they're going to have to come up with an answer for the Darling pretty quickly here. Okay. Oh, but they didn't kill the Fight Rigging here. They chose to go for the kind of all-in play, but that means that the Fight Rigging gets to do its thing. Like, I can play Adjudicators here. I could also just play Celestial Regulator and start putting counters on it. Also could play Obscura Initiate. Let's see, if I play the Initiate, what happens? I play it. Yeah, it doesn't quite work out the way I want, but it's probably fine. I mean, making a huge lifelinker is a pretty sweet setup. I think in this case, though, I'm actually going to take the most conservative line that I can, which is kind of weird, but I'm going to play Spara's Adjudicators. This means that my opponent doesn't get to do the tempo game against me with their backup Adjudicators here. If they change Spara's Adjudicator, oh god, Titan of Industry. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Okay, well, I guess that's GG. We do not have the capability to really tussle with that, I don't believe. Huh, and bouncing it seems precarious to say the least. It's one of the sweetest cards in the set, no doubt about it. Darn. We were looking pretty good up until then. Okay, I guess I just got to run out of town the Rhino here, just because it's like basically a full-on kill spell. What, you have a pump spell too? Sure. Yeah. Titan of Industry is extremely difficult to beat. All right, let's try again. Of course, we have both Gathering Throngs in our opener. I'm going to mulligan that. I just think that hand was low power level, awkward because of the double Throngs, like just bad all around. I think I could just do this. I mean, I guess it's not the worst to keep that over something. Sure, that's fine too. Okay, so I've got Celestial Regulator, which isn't really going to do much here, but I can put it in. Yeah, I'm going to still try to just sort of hang in there with the hoping to get a little lucky here and string together a couple of lands, but this gives me the highest upside of having the two most powerful spells available. Yeah, I'll just play this thing. So I got 4 power in the air. If I draw an untapped land, I get to play Darling of the Masses, which is great. These are not. Oh, that is a citizen, but that's not. Okay, another 4-ball. I'll just get in. And I'll play Civic Gardener. An expendable lackey off the top of Ye Old Library. Ooh, there's some business. All right, well, let's see what we hit here. We hit Boon of Safety. Okay, well, I can actually play that if I want. And I would like the Scry, I'll tell you that. So I'm going for it. Jewel Thief. Yeah, you know what? That's sort of like getting a land drop, but also getting all the action. So I'll take it. We got him down to 10 now. This is a good start for our opponent. We mulligan, and they played the Corrupted Court Official, but they've missed multiple land drops now, and that's benefiting us. Now they're going to flash this in just to try to dig for our 4th land. But if we can... If I hit... So I'm going to play the Jewel Thief. If I hit almost anything, I think we're pretty good to go after that. Guess there's no downside here to just, I don't know, doing that. The Civic Gardener just gets blocked, but we get them down to 4. And then I will have 4 mana available for run out of town on a blocker, potentially. Our low curve is paying us off here. I mean, we're still stuck on 3 lands, and look at our board. This is one of the I don't know, kind of hidden benefits of being conservative with your curve and prioritizing twos. Like, look at that. We got a win off of a really bad draw. I mean, that was a mulligan into they made us discard and we never hit land number 4. But our opponent also stumbled in this occasion, but we had a really great mana curve there that allowed us to play most of the cards from our hand. If you put together your mana well, you get a lot of hidden benefits that come out in your win percentage, but that aren't quite as easy to see. Things like you don't have to mulligan as much. And things like you can play your cards, even if your mana's not being particularly cooperative. So it's very good. All right, Courtyard of the Cabaret Variety. I'm going to be able to curve into Inspiring Overseer either way here, so I think I'm just going to go for the Informant. Sure. So it's only a 2/1 Informant, but that does trade for a lot of stuff, including that potentially. So let's just attack here. I would like to trade. All right. I will accept the offer. And then I'm going to play Inspiring Overseer, best common in the set. And the hand's a little flat at this point. Mayhem Patrol, okay. Okay, there's a good draw. Yeah, Gathering Throng's a nice one to pick up here, because the other one's still in the deck, so we can do that. I'm going to play the Tap Botanical Plaza. I don't think we'll need to use Boon of Safety this turn. Like, I'd rather optimize for playing 5 mana next turn, like Throng plus Gardener or Spar's Adjudicators, kind of depending on what my opponent's blocking situation looks like. So I think I'm just going to be a little cagey here and just attack with the Overseer. I think my opponent wants to block here, and I just don't really think I want to give them what they want. So I'm going to play Gathering Throng number 2. And then I'm going to play either Rafine's Informant or the Gardener, and in this case, it'll probably just be the Gardener. Because I still am not really sure what I want to discard to the Informant. Also, 2 toughness is nice against this thing in case I don't want to discard an actual spell. But like if I draw a land this next turn, I'll just keep it in my hand for the Rafine's Informant to loot away, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's get the heavy hitters down. Lock this thing up. And battle. And I think I will actually trade Boon of Safety for a creature here. Don't want that. And then I'm not going to play the Plaza so that I can Rafine's Informant it away. What do I need here? Flyers mainly? Alright. So they play Depopulate and have 2 of those Seraphs going, so that's pretty devastating. So is drawing 10 lands in a row. Okay, go ahead. Now they're going to stabilize pretty hardcore here, and I don't know if we can come back, but we'll try. Oh, good God. Rafine's Informant's doing a good job of looting away the lands, but we haven't found the end of them yet. Oh, God. Oh, my God. I don't think I have anything that costs 1 mana that I want to play here, but... Alright, Rock's Pummeler's a magic card, but I don't think it's going to get the job done against 8 power in the air here. More Brawlers? Or did that one go back to hand or something? No, it's just more Brawlers. And now they can give one of them lifelink too? Or first strike or something? No, they're just going to bash me. And that's it. Too many lands. Good God. But really, that game was all about depopulate, right? Like, that was kind of the game. Okay, so we are 2-2. And things have gone okay, but we had 2 major blowouts that both led directly to losses. The mythic green card and then the wrath into kind of no more action to follow it up was pretty good for my opponent. All right. Well, I get to Informant away a land here. Oh man, I thought that was the enchantment that I was so excited about that keeps getting destroyed. Although we have been able to generate some pretty good value off of it. Oh, that's the one I'm talking about. The business. So should I be playing the Jewel Thief first? Nah. Let's get this thing rolling. Okay, Adjudicators or a Pummeler? I think I'll want an Adjudicators probably more. So let's try to ride this Rafine's Informant to glorious victory. Okay, there's Darling of the Masses, so I'll probably just need to take this turn to kill that. I was going to play Jewel Thief plus Civic Gardener, but now I think I'm just going to put a counter on this and then just Bouncers beat down the Darling. It's an awkward turn, but getting this thing off the battlefield's a pretty big game. The other option I have is to just stick with my original plan, in which case I would have a 2-2, a 4-4, and a 3-2, and it would make life pretty difficult for my opponent to just go jamming Darling of the Masses in there. And it's a little bit better because I get a counter on here, which is kind of where I want it. I guess I can just do that and kind of say, all right, fine. If you clear all of this away, then you did it, and then I'll use Bouncer's Beatdown. Here, I think what I'm actually going to do is put a counter on this Rafine's Informant because now it can block this or this safely, and then I have a double block here. All right, my opponent gave up. I guess I made the right play. Man, fight rigging has been good anytime it's been on the battlefield, and people have actually found answers for it multiple times, but they needed to, so I'm impressed so far. And this is a deck that should really want it. The low curve, green-white based 2-drop deck, that's fight rigging's wheelhouse. Okay, this is a clunker, but I think I can keep it. An untapped land in here would be really sweet, but it's not 100% necessary. What I really don't want to do is draw a Gathering Throng. Like, that would just be really annoying. Okay, I think this actually works out okay, because I can play tap land first main and then attack and have 3 mana, so I can cast Gathering Throng next turn off of this. Not like ultra excited to trade here and give my opponent a treasure token, but all right, they didn't even go for it anyway. All right, let's get this Gathering Throng down now while I can still get some value out of the dang thing because I only have 2 in the deck. I do have some nice citizen curves going here too. Social Climber, sure. I'm not going to block here. All right, let's play this. And now I can play the Darling of the Masses this turn as well, and these trades are all fine if they want to make them. If they don't, I'm good with that too, so there we go. Only downside is that I couldn't play it pre-combat to get the pump on these 2 citizens, but you know, you can't have it all. Okay, Maestro's Theater. So that's going to get a Swamp here, I guess, and my opponent's playing Jund. It looks like it. Should I block? No, I don't think I should. I think I win this race pretty easily. Like, I've got 9 power on the battlefield right now. Strangle the Civic Gardener? Sure. That's also a nice little bingo. Now I can double spell again, which is I think what I'm going to do. So if that's the case, let's just get rowdy here. My opponent picked this fight. Like, they keep attacking, and they basically said that they wanted to race, and I'm just obliging them here. Unfortunately, no more Gathering Throngs to go search up. But I did already get my value out of it, and it's a 4-1 thanks to the Darling. I'm at 12. Stimulus package. And so they can sack these to make them into 1/1s. Wow, really? Three. I guess it is only 7. No, it's not. Yeah, okay. I can just spar as adjudicators, like if they want to make token. I don't know. They can do them after combat and technically survive, but Climber's going to get some extra life here. Sure. No, yeah, you're doing it. Things are happening. Okay, so they have +4 or whatever. That's fine. It's still not lethal. So what happens if I get rid of one of these? They can block one thing and they take 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and they just die. I mean, it's tough, but like, I think you wanted this, right? Like, I don't get it. I mean, it was impressive to get me to -2 off of just those attacks, but -2 is distinctly not 0. So that might have been writing a what are they writing a check your whatever your face can't, I don't know, whatever the stupid saying is. That might have been asking for a little much there. The opponent anticipating winning that race. Okay, so 2-lander with Informant, Throng, and Jewel Thief. Yeah, I'm in for this. It's a fine hand. Informant can help out a lot here too. We do not have blue mana yet, so one of these two blue cards would be the most likely to ditch the Informant. But I think our mana is actually fine in the deck, so we don't have to. We also will have blue mana off of the Thief. So, oh, and look at that. There's blue mana anyway. So now I'm probably just going to get rid of a land. Like, we're going to be able to cast all of our stuff anyway. So the question is forest or plains? And the other question is, does it matter? I guess I have this, so an extra plains is slightly better. I don't know. The real question is, next turn, if we don't draw Gathering Throng, should I play that? Or should I just get Jewel Thief down and start smashing? Because it's very tempting to play Gathering Throng when you haven't drawn the other one yet, so that you kind of lock in the value. It's also just like a fine play to make. I think I'll do that, actually. It's also 3 power into an empty board. You know, if they had a 1/1 over there, it would be different. If they had a 1/1, I'd either play Jewel Thief or the Flyer. But, you know, this actually, like, if their first play is some 3 toughness or less creature, that's not just like a random citizen token, I can jam with this thing. All right, looks like they're on Cabaretti. And they played a 4/4. Little awkward that I have all these kind of on the more expensive side cards. Tempted to just do this. Though, if I run this thing out of town, I can use up all my mana here, and then next turn I can go Jewel Thief plus Celestial Regulator if they just replay it. And I did take that turn to play a 3-powered Smasher, so I get to hit for 5, which is kind of a lot. Okay, so that's a nice one. So I will play Jewel Thief. And I think I want to play Celestial Regulator here. Could be Obscura Initiate, but I think it's Regulator. And then I make it so that this can't block and I attack with the Throng. Or I tap this thing down or whatever this card does. It's a lot of damage, just adds up. Ooh! I get to trade for your 5-ball with half of my Gathering Throng? No, I didn't think you could live with that. That's a very tough pill to swallow when you already have a 1/1 on board. Oh, going back for it. All right, I'm in. Boy, that's when you have a 1/1 and a 4/4 in your hand, trading off your 5/3 for my stupid Gathering Throng is just rough. And I'm here for it. We are going to need a little help from the top of the library, though. Cards like Spar's Adjudicators or the enchantment that we got, like those are the types of stuff we need to just push through a little bit. Oh, man. Civic Gardener, not so great here. But I actually have a tax now because of that. I mean, they get to cash this thing in for a stupid 4/4, but I do not see a way around that. Okay, this doofus. And that, and then one of these, and then I kind of just have to hope that they can't get at me in the air, and I can hit him for 4 a turn and even lifelink it up a little bit. Probably just rather draw a card with Botanical Plaza over really any of those options, but we'll see what we draw. Okay. Ooh, there's an attack. I'm going to take that. So let's see what we draw here. Rafine's Informant. Okay, that'll work. Into another Rafine's Informant, so I will discard that to make that thing into a 3/2. And then do I play this card out or do I wait a turn? I think I'm going to wait a turn on that. And I'll activate this thing. Try to keep my life total up. I could just run the Rafine's Informant out. You mill a card. If it's a land, nothing happens. If it's not a land, then you get a thing. But I do view this time of the game as being very top of the deck sensitive, if you will. Like there's a lot of cards like this that just don't do anything. Lands do effectively nothing at this point, that kind of thing. Okay, so this thing has trample. And they're going to make it so something can't block and they're just going to hit me for 8, basically. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I have Obscura Initiate. How can I lose? I guess they could fire off the burn spell to kill this and this. That would be brutal. All right, but they didn't. All right, so let's see what we draw. It's a land, so that makes this part easy. Play the Informant, and let's start hitting some 5s here. 6, something like that. There we go. A bit of business. And I can't quite cast it yet, but it is still very, very excellent here. So I could attack with everything. I get in for 4 in the air. I go up to 12. They eat this, trade this, and they take 2, 4, 6. They take 8, and that would actually make it lethal next turn, and I'm at 12. They have 9 power out. They could definitely kill me. We'll give them credit for at least 10 power, but it is hard to get up to the full. Yeah, you know what? I think that's actually fine. Let's, I don't think this is getting better for us necessarily. Oh, that new Rafine's Informant. Okay, hold on a second. I miscalculated. So this dies, I get in for 2, 4, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10. The next turn actually only puts them to 1. May still be worth it, though. Yeah, I think it's probably still worth it. Really close call. It does also mean that I'm potentially taking a bit less damage on the crackback because of the Informant, though. You know, I can chump block the Elegant Entourage, for example. It's pretty all in play. But they have 5 cards in hand, and I have 1, and while it is a pretty good card, it's hard to imagine that with 5 spells in hand, my opponent isn't going to find a way to win this game. It's already like fairly equal on board. And so I'm going to try to press my flying advantage here. Okay. All right. So they get to... let's see. They get to eat, trade. So I don't actually get in for any extra, and I get rid of the 1/1, and I get the libation out of their hand. But yeah, I mean, I lose a good chunk of my board here. So it goes. So I go to 12. They're at 7. And I pass, but I mean, I do get to play Adjudicators next turn. I kill them in 2 turns, theoretically. It's a good close game. But this is kind of what I was talking about. Like they had 5 spells in hand. Like even cards like this end up performing pretty well for them. I mean, that also could have been an easy way for them to steal a victory, you know, if I don't block well or whatever. Yeah, and there's actually the win right there for them. So GG. It's going to be very difficult to overcome all these spells. All right, so that's going to do it for this drafto. What do we get to? 3 wins, 4 wins with this thing? That was a good close game. Got blown out by the Wrath, got blown out by the big feller. All right, 4 wins. You know what? I'll take 4 wins with this deck. This deck was not great. It felt like we were fighting the table a bit, and we got knocked out by some really powerful cards. So yeah, I'll take 4 wins with it. That's not bad. You almost get your buy-in back for that too. All right, well, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for hanging out, and we will see you tomorrow.